Hi, welcome to Jamie's blog from Jamie's. And right you are, YouTube. Right you are. It's a beautiful day. Right now I'm sitting in my backyard on my porch, and it's a wonderful day for a discussion with a great dear friend of mine. Today we have guest appearance, Lauren O'Brien. She will be attending Dickinson next year, and let's give her a round of applause. Hi Lauren, thank you for joining me. It's wonderful to have you.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey Lizzie.
Hey Jamie, what's going on?
Lizzie and Jamie, we're here to talk about
Sex.
Okay. Today we are talking about the rise in teenage pregnancy and the underlying causes. We have with us Lauren O'Brien, senior from Moses Brown School. Would you mind educating our audience a little bit about yourself so that we can, get familiar with you, same way as Luna may?
Sure, I'm Lauren O'Brien. I'm a senior, as Jamie said, at Moses Brown, and I'm here just to talk about a little bit of my own personal experiences, knowing people who, have been involved with, teenage pregnancies, and I've also done a significant research paper about kind of the evolution of birth control and abortion over the ages.
And your research paper, that was for...
It was for Moses.
We can trust your evidence, we can trust your opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
Great, so let's start with the change in the generation. I mean, family lifestyles have changed drastically in the past few years.
Well, one of the biggest changes is kind of the cookie-cutter nuclear family. In the old ways, it used to be, the mom and dad and, 2, 3, 4 kids. Nowadays, we're seeing a lot more of single parents or, say, or people having children out of wedlock. So I really feel that it's the kind of the environment and the family structure that has led to a lot of change in teenage behavior.
What about social acceptance? I mean, I know that the family situation may lead, that could be contribution, but socially we don't accept teenage...
We don't, and it really doesn't make sense. There's a huge disconnect between what's going on in the media and what's portrayed as acceptable or okay to what actually is okay. In the media, we're really bombarded by all these sexual images and kind of the cultural values of how people should act is really different than what is accepted.
Cultural values, what do they tell us we have to be like?
Well, there's so many conflicting views on what we should be like. There's kind of the fashion view of the family, married, the husband goes to work, provides for the wife and children, the wife stays home.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, we've come into a big change where a lot more women are putting off having a family to complete their education and to get a job.
And that's important, but there's a gap between now it's socially acceptable that you're 28 when you start a family, and
it used to not be like that. You're right.
I mean, let's say physically, 13 years old, you're able to have a child.
But that doesn't necessarily mean you should.
Right.
That's where the disconnect comes in.
And over the past 2,000 years, it's really just, right now, it's really it's a culture shock, and...
It is. There's the kind of the new age idea that of female empowerment and, women should go get their education. Mm-hmm. They should be allowed to choose whether they want to start a family or pursue their own needs. And there's also
Luna!
The other values.
End it.
where, once a girl finishes high school, she, or even doesn't finish high school, once baby, she's now a mother. That is her job, and that's kind of the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what the biggest problem is so many people don't see having a child is a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a decision that you can just make and say, okay, I'm pregnant. It's never that easy. It's never.
The media has glamorized.
It has.
The pregnancies. They make it look like it's a fun thing. They don't say, Jamie Lynn Spears is awake at 3 a.m, taking care of her her children, and
Yeah.
they don't say she has nannies on call, and they don't speak to that. And
It's almost being positively reinforced that you see all these, figures who have, had kids in there. It's working out fine. It'll be fine for me, and look how much attention I'll get.
Mhm. Today we have Lizzie Manning, senior at Choate Rosemary Hall, and she's here to talk about sex and birth control. Can you please inform the audience of your experience in this field?
Well, I have been sexually active for 2 years now, and my main mode of birth control is the pill.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Okay, so at Choate, are there a lot of sexually active teens?
Absolutely. I would say more so at boarding school than any other schools in the country.
And have you seen any experience with actual teen pregnancy?
I have. My sophomore year, one of my good friends got pregnant and had an abortion.
Oh no.
I know. The condom broke. Generally, I'd say that the most common form of birth control at Choate is condoms.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and are they effective, except for that girl that when it broke?
I'd say that condoms are, as it says on the label, when used correctly, 98% effective.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And in correlation to the recent rise in teen pregnancy, how do you feel like they relate?
Well, I think that teenagers are likely to get carried away and forget about what they do. Like, who recently was having sex with a 14-year-old boy and continuously got carried away in the moment and had to take the morning after pill, which fortunately the Choate Rosemary Hall Infirmary provides.
Attention, I would say, is a major reason why those girls in Gloucester went and got pregnant. Can you explain to the audience what happened in Gloucester this past spring?
Well, this past spring there was a significantly large group of girls at Gloucester High School.
17 to be exact.
Yes. Who formed a pregnancy pact where they all tried to get pregnant all at the same time so they could all have children at the same time.
However, just to interject, not all of them did try to get pregnant. There were a few that just got pregnant.
And it's really disheartening, I guess, how much media attention that got and how many people reacted to it, that these girls almost didn't, they were bored with their own lives, and so they took on the life of a child getting themselves pregnant, not realizing the environment they were bringing these kids into. They're not done with high school. They don't know the financial strain it's going to put on their parents because they cannot support these children. Some of them don't know who the father of their children is.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
These girls, they were not thinking. And if you think of location of Gloucester, it's in the middle of nowhere, and birth control, people are ashamed. Some people are ashamed.
It's taboo,
Yes.
and it's unfortunately surprisingly difficult to get birth control, especially looking at people who don't have medical insurance or don't have a relationship with a doctor where they can get a prescription.
But the fact that would be why they got pregnant, because they were too ashamed to walk into a place, those are not the people that should be having sex. If they're too ashamed to go and buy
If they're not comfortable with their own,
if they're not comfortable
sexuality
with
and choices.
themselves, they should not go and buy that. They should not have sex if they're not comfortable with the idea
Right.
of it. If they can't say sex, they should not be comfortable with having it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's something wrong there, and I think that goes into the way that kids are educated.
Yes, that's where the problem